Well, welcome to We Are BC TV. I'm very excited today to have our two outstanding school leaders, Denise Crest, our high school principal, and Donna Ann Peterson, our pre-K through 8 principal. And today we're here to share some review and exciting news about the 24-25 school year, which is, believe it or not, is we're just completing our first quarter of the year. It's gone by so quickly, but we're very excited about our school system and the many great things that are happening at Butte Central Catholic School. So Denise and Donna Ann, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, you both are outstanding school leaders, and I think we have so much momentum and exciting things happening at Butte Central. One of the things that really is standing out for us is our continued enrollment growth. Over the last 2 years, we're up over 90 students, and both your building and your building have grown, and I think that's a sign of the excitement and the confidence and just the great things that we're doing. So maybe, what do you think is attributing to our growth?
You know, I think it's a number of things. I believe that, you know, we've had some parents comment that the 4-day school week was a positive for them, and they did have.
We're going to talk a lot about that today, too, right?
Sure. Yes, and then also, I think that the word gets around that, you know, we do have somewhat smaller classroom sizes, and that our students really get that attention that they need more so than if our classrooms are larger.
Right.
And I think that we've heard that feedback from parents that call and enroll their students. We've also heard that feedback directly from them, and I think that, you know, that has a plus. That's a plus for us. That's positive.
Well, and your school's up 56 students in preschool through 8th grade since last year, so that's really exciting.
That is exciting. In fact, our junior high has, you know, we had to add more lockers to our junior high. Never thought that would be a sign of growth, but it is. It's exciting, and you know, our junior high, I really see down there, because we did grow down there quite a bit, and I see just the busyness and the positiveness coming from our students, and you know, I feel like that's been a plus for us as well.
Right, and so it really is exciting. You can see the growth when you walk into the school, your school assemblies. You can just see that we're a bigger school. Mm-hmm. And when we had our first all-school mass with Bishop Vetter here in September, you can see the church is fuller. So you can visibly see that we're growing.
For sure, you can, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, Denise, your school is growing as well. We're up a great number, and what's exciting for the future is our smallest 2 grades are our junior and senior year. So growth at the high school is going to really take off down the road here.
Yeah, we're up about 15 new students, and I contribute that to, once again, smaller classroom sizes. Differentiated learning is more available at when you have the smaller classrooms. And I also...
Hardy, please come to the front office. Morgan Hardy, please come to the front office.
I also feel that it really contributes to the 4-day week.
When that bell rings, you can see all the kids walking down the halls right now, which is really positive. But you know, I really believe this. I think the growth in our school has a lot to do with both of your leaderships and your great staffs that you have too. I think that message is being sent out to the community, and people are really believing in what we do in Butte Central. Well, the major change in our school year has been the 4-day school week. It was a change that occurred after many months of study and deliberation and prayerful consideration, but we're off to we've just, you know, ready to complete our first quarter under the 4-day school week. And I think the early reviews, it's election year, so early reviews is a word we're going to hear in the next few months, but I think it's been very positive, and I think people are really liking it. So maybe give us your impression of the first quarter in the 4-day school week.
I think it's been really positive. From our standpoint, is on Fridays we lose so many kids due to athletic functions that the kids aren't losing that instruction time because the teachers don't feel like they're teaching and then reteaching on Monday because so many kids are gone. So I think, you know, from the staff standpoint, that it's been better in that aspect.
Right, and I think, you know, we just went to a statewide teachers Catholic school conference in Billings, and had a great opportunity to visit with teachers at both the elementary and at the high school. I think our teachers are really enjoying it, and I think it's creating you know, really a lot of enthusiasm in our staffs.
It sure is. You know, I'll be the first to admit that I wasn't quite sure how the 4-day school week was going to go when we were first approached about it and talked about it. I couldn't say one way or another because I've never experienced it, but I really am. I'm pleasantly surprised. Our teachers are giving us such positive feedback, as well as their observations with students as well. You know, they feel like that with those longer periods, especially like in the junior high, we're getting a full 60 minutes as opposed to a 53-minute period, you know, and then even on those Thursday mass days, we're getting longer periods than we were like last Thursday in the previous mass days. So that's a positive. The elementary teachers are, you know, they don't feel that there's a big struggle or any type of, you know, really issues with it, problems. You know, students at first were a little bit more tired, but those little ones are adjusting and they're doing a good job. And teachers alone are just really enjoying it. They're getting that rest. A lot of teachers come in on Fridays. We're usually there on Fridays for a while, and teachers do come in, they get their lesson plans in, and then they're done for the whole weekend. They get that full weekend of rest. Coming back on Monday, you know, I could feel a difference as well. You just feel more rejuvenated, refreshed. You know, you just do. Teaching is a tough profession, and I just think the mental health of our teachers is very important, and without our teachers and the great teachers that we have, you know, we're not a school. Right. So there's just a lot of positives at this point. You know, we'll find out more as the year goes, as far as our testing goes, and et cetera. But as of right now, we're almost at the first quarter, end of the first quarter, and we feel like there's just a lot of positives with it, along with it.
Right. You know, and our Fridays we've called Empower Days, and we have some activities on some of our Fridays, and I think the first couple months we've done some really great things. So maybe you could talk about some of the things we've done with Empower.
I know that we've planned, our sports have had mini camps for numerous students. I never actually heard an exact number, but it was
60 kids at a football camp on a Friday, which was, as the football coach, that was awesome.
We also, up here at the high school, we've planned days, but nobody's ever showed up, so I figured that would kind of be, but maybe you can.
Maybe we'll pass that off to you.
Sure. Yeah, one of our empowering days was a math and reading enrichment. And we had, I believe, 29 kids enroll in that. And we had it separated amongst K through 2, 3rd and 4th, and then the 5th through 6th, 7th. We didn't have any 8th graders, but we, you know, split it up that way. And we had teachers come in, and we received really positive feedback from the students as well. At the end of it, I talked with them. At the end of it, each of that empowerment day for the math and reading, and the kids came up smiling. They loved it. They had fun. We also just did a YMCA swim day, so there were 34 kids I think signed up for that, and I think that went well. And we have a science camp coming up in November, and we'll get information put out on that as well, and that'll be our next empowerment day.
Right. Well, and I know at this coming Friday, our junior high and high school will have a student-led prayer service at noon on Friday. It's sort of the end of the fall sports season, so we'll have our senior members of our sports programs, and we'll invite all of our students, but we're going to have a senior-led prayer service on Friday. So those are the things that we can do with Empower Days on Fridays, on those days that we don't have school. It's not always just an automatic complete day off. There's a lot of things still happening. Which
absolutely.
You know, it would really be great to hear from some of our parents, our students, and our teachers. And so I think we'll go ahead and explore some of those feedbacks and just impressions of the first quarter of our 4-day school week. But I think we're going to find everybody has received it in a real positive fashion.
I love the 4-day school week.
To this point, I love the 4-day school week.
The 4-day school week provides more family time and more friends time.
I found that I'm able to engage a lot more with students since we have longer class periods.
I've been able to get more schoolwork done in class that I would have had for homework.
It's given me a lot more instructional minutes with my students. I've noticed a difference from last year to this year. Because my students are with me a complete hour, we can really move through small writing activities, reading activities, independent work, group work, sharing what we've worked on. The whole hour has given us a lot more time to actually work on the content.
Over the weekend, I'm probably going to have a better time to rest and take a break from some of the schoolwork.
I've noticed that when they come in on Monday, they seem to be kind of re-energized and really excited about the week. I think with kids that young, 5 days seems a little daunting sometimes, but they come on Monday and 4 days just works really great with the little kids.
Having Fridays off has been great for our family. We've been able to spend more time together. We've been able to focus on other activities as well outside of school that we're not typically able to do.
4-day school week allows me to go with my family, with my mom, to go to her work trips.
Things that have been good for my family, particularly for the 4-day school week, has been just having an extra day to recharge and spend time together as a family.
So I've noticed that students understand that because they're only here for 4 days and the class periods are a little more intensive, that they really have to put the work in. So I've seen that step up, definitely. And I've also seen some great changes in attendance. Students are far more likely to attend, and they're not missing because of sports or appointments. It's been great academically.
And I like how if we have games on Fridays, I don't have to miss school to go travel to out-of-town games.
We're out of school on a lot of Fridays for cross country, so that's been really nice to not miss school.
We also do a lot of sporting events on weekends, and so having that extra day to possibly travel to that sporting event or just be together before that event has been wonderful.
And then we're also able to refresh on the weekends. I still work Fridays, I should admit that, but I'm able to do all of my grading and planning so that I can spend Saturdays and Sundays with my family.
Having Friday to do a lot more planning and organizing. So much of what you do as a teacher depends on planning and organizing, and I find having that extra day has just been awesome. It's been great.
Last year it was always kind of Sunday night was when I had to lesson plan, and now I have Friday mornings where I don't have students around, but we all dedicate Friday mornings to planning our lessons for the upcoming week.
You have more time to hang out with friends on the weekends and hang out with family members. And I just like it because it's fun and it makes school a lot shorter.
Well, the next thing we'd like to talk about is our Growing Our Faith initiative, and I'll throw this one to you. I'll sort of pass it back and forth between the two of you. But our Growing Our Faith initiative, we had our first mass outreach in October. Went very well. I think our kids went out and attended masses on weekends, but it's a big part of who we are.
Yeah, and we really are trying to encourage our students to attend more masses on the weekends, and this is one way that we can give back to the community. We broke down our sports teams to attend every single mass at all the churches in town and pass out prayer cards, and it was really well.
Right, and we had a great number of the elementary and junior high kids too.
We
so
did.
it was really, it's really important for our kids to develop faith and have those prayer experiences. But I think that's our role, and an important role we have at Butte Central is to encourage people to practice our faith. And we have non-Catholic kids, and we encourage them to go to their churches as well. But it's really great to have our kids attending masses in the Butte community on weekends, and we'll do that several times throughout the year. Our next one will be during Advent, when we'll send our families out in groups to attend mass together. So really a special part of who we are at Butte Central. Let's just talk about some other things in our schools right now. I know that both schools just finished MAPS testing, which is our standardized test that we're going to take. We always use those as a great a tool for us to hopefully get better and create growth in our students. But under the 4-day school week, I think it's going to be really it's going to have even a higher role. So maybe talk about MAPS and the process at the elementary school.
Yeah, we just got done last week finishing up our testing. I'm just starting to go through the results as of today. I just started this morning going through some of our results, and so the first tests of the year in the fall is usually there's that gap. You have summer break, and then it's nice to see some of our kids, the majority of our kids look like they're either staying, equal from the fall, from the spring, or growth. I've seen some growth in some of the studies that I've already looked at so far, results that I've looked at so far. So that's one thing with fall. The fall's, just one of those
sort of the baseline for the year,
for the winter, and then the spring, exactly. Right. So, yeah.
I also think as far as the MAPS, that's not just our only tool that we're looking at for growth, because some kids are just not great test takers. Right. So I think what we're doing is looking at every area and gathering all that data in all areas.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, and I think that that's one of the things that in the new 4-day school week, we really have a strategy set forth that we're going to really monitor data and to make sure that we are growing. And I think that's a mindset that's really important in the school system. And, a big part of your roles as principals is to ensure that growth.
Yes.
But the next thing I'd like to talk about is at the high school, we have a new work experience program. I think it's been really popular with the kids that they're exploring their career goals and dreams and going out and actually having work experience. So maybe talk about that.
Last year was our first year that we started it, and we had 7 involved in it. This year, we have 4. And, there are lots of different areas of aspects of their career. One's really starting to think that maybe that's not their trail that they want to take, so they'll finish it out, but they know now before heading into college that they want to pursue something a little different. It's been very positive, though.
I know speaking with some of the kids that go to work as part of their school day, I think it's really important that we continue to help kids explore their career options, and just a really great program, I think.
And the 2 teachers that are in charge of that, they're doing a great job. They make the students accountable. They have to have so many hours a week if they're in sports and so many hours a week if they're not in sports, and they have to bring their time cards back, and it's a check and balance. So it's really good for them to have that aspect.
Yeah. Donna, I'd like you to talk about this year we were able to find a licensed guidance counselor, which we haven't had for several years. We've had an amazing clinical social worker that's been in our school. So we really have 2 outstanding counselors now that are serving our students. And with all the challenges that our kids in our world and our state and in Butte are facing, it's been really positive at Butte Central.
Oh, it sure has. I was really, really excited to know that we brought on for the high school Justin Collins as our guidance counselor, because that is such an important component to a school for the students and for the curriculum and for the future and scholarships and applying for scholarships, prep testing, everything. And he's a great guy, so we're really excited to see him come aboard. And then of course we have Leah Francisco. She's our mental health counselor. And there's a lot of schools that don't have a mental health counselor in place. I would say the majority of schools do not have that. So we're very fortunate to have that mental health, expertise right on site. Anytime that there's questions and anytime that sometimes parents need to come in and have those discussions with their child, and just to have her expertise on site we're very fortunate. And we also have a new SEL program, which is social emotional learning. It's a curriculum. That was one of my goals when I first started as a principal, to make sure we implemented a SEL program that would be start from kindergarten and go all the way through school, because I just feel that that's very important to start that at a very young age. And it's called Everyday Speech. And Mrs. Francisco and Mr. Collins have already started implementing that, and so far it's been good. The kids I've sat in a couple of those classes just the last 2 weeks, and there's a lot of interaction with the students, and I feel like that program, hopefully that'll be the one that we continue to use and go forth, but that's instrumental in building a strong school community.
You're right, and I think that's part of our goals. Is we have so many diverse kids. We have wonderful kids with diverse backgrounds and diverse talents and diverse challenges. And having a really strong counseling staff is a big plus in both schools.
Yep. Yeah.
Denise, I'd like you to talk about our staffs, and we'll pass it on to you too. But I think this last week we went to the statewide Catholic Schools Teachers Conference in Billings, which was a great collaboration and opportunity to visit with other Catholic school teachers and administrators, and it was really sort of a empowering kind of experience. But I think we're just so blessed to have great staff. So maybe just talk about your staff.
Right. I always say we're only as strong as our weakest link, and therefore that I feel that our staff is, really molded together. We all have the same plans and directions in place, and I feel that we're all headed in the right direction.
And I think the same thing. The elementary staff's fantastic.
It is. As an administrator, if you don't have that staff, that strong staff, your job is that much more difficult. And I wouldn't be able to do it without the staff that we have. That's all I can say. And they're always wanting to learn, and they work so well together. We just got some great feedback from some of our high school teachers regarding how well our kids coming up have been prepared in the math and science areas, and to me that's a plus. That's just shows, you know, what our junior high teachers as well are doing, you know, bridging that gap from junior high up to high school. And it starts when they're young. It starts with the Peggy Cambiches and the Missy Turners in kindergarten and all the way through. We have some teachers with some great experience, and their feedback and their input is just invaluable.
Yeah, and I know just from, you know, the president's position, I look at our staffs, and last spring I spent a lot of time in classrooms. We have so many talented teachers, but I think there's some attributes that really emanate through our entire faculty, and the one that really stands out to me is I think our teachers really care about their kids.
Yeah.
You know, and they do whatever they can to help every kid succeed.
Absolutely.
I think that's a real strong trait of Butte Central Catholic Schools.
Absolutely.
Well, ladies, it's hard to believe the quarter is first quarter's ended. We're getting ready for quarter number 2, and I think we have a lot of exciting things happening. But we have a couple events we wanted to talk about today. Just give some dates and talk about that. But one of our great long-standing events at Butte Central is the Laverne Combo Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, and that is scheduled for November 19th, and we thought after the Blocktoberfest, we'd have a day or two to gather our thoughts and move forward, because we've already been starting to plan for that, which it'll be here before we know it.
What a great tradition that is, you know, and I think that's one of our great focuses as a school system, is to give back to our community and our kids from kindergarten or preschool, for that matter, through high school. Community service and working with others in the community is a big part of who we are at Butte Central. This weekend, big bingo fundraiser.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yeah, this weekend we have our bingo fundraiser, which helps support our teacher bonus fund and our empowering days. So it's important that we get as many people out there to support our teachers. Like I said, that teacher bonus is absolutely a good thing to have, as you know.
Sure.
It helps just show our teachers how much more we appreciate them, and any little thing we can give them is important. So the bingo fundraiser is Halloween. It's the Halloween-based
You don't have to wear a costume, but we're going to give a prize to the best costume.
To the best costume. So anyhow, hopefully we'll get a lot of people out there to support our teachers and empowering days.
Very cool. And that's this Saturday at the MAC,
Yes.
and the tickets are available at the door for sure.
Yes.
And then one of the things that we're just so blessed at Butte Central is we have just amazing alumni, benefactors, friends, past parents who really financially support the school. And so on November 7th, we're going to celebrate Roy Zimperman Appreciation Day. And Roy is a member of the Butte Central class of 1958, and he has been so generous to our schools in many areas, from technology to general support, but he has been our champion and truly our guardian angel with scholarship donations. And so on November 7th, we're going to recognize and just take a few moments to thank Roy for everything that he has done for Butte Central and continues to do. So,
absolutely.
You know, one of the great things that's happening at Butte Central is because of the generosity of people like Roy and many, many others, we're it's possible for us to offer scholarships at a level that we've never had before, which I think is contributing to our growth. But you know, that scholarship program is just so important. We want every family to afford the ability to come to our schools, and so I think we want people to know that if you want to come to Butte Central, we will make it financially possible for you to do so through our great scholarship program. So, well, thank you for being here, ladies. You do make my life very easy. I told folks in Billings last week that my job is really easy because I have two outstanding administrators that do their job. I just sort of have to show up and hang around a little bit. So you guys do all the hard work, but really we're very blessed to have you leading our schools, and I think this is the school year is off to a great year, and we'll continue to work hard, and we want people to know that growth that we talked about earlier in the interview, we want that to continue, and I think it's going to, just because of the wonderful things we're doing at Butte Central. So thanks for being here on We Are BC TV.
Thank you.